Hey everybody, Ben for the Benner Podcast, and welcome to Blood Bowl 2025 Team Guides Nurgle team. So we're going through every team in Blood Bowl Season 3, and we're looking at the positionals, we're looking at the changes, and we're looking at what roster you can run if you go to Games Workshop and pick up one box. So, Nurgle, they've lost a couple of things, they've gained a couple of things, and we ran them last night on our live stream, so it felt like the right time to go through the Nurgle team. Alright, so Nurgle, let's have a look. So Nurgle team, 0 to 8 rerolls, 60k, I've put them at tier 2. Tiers mean nothing. Oh, the Games Workshop tiers are dropped now. I bet Nurgle are tier 3, which feels about right. They can't have an apothecary. Alright, they got some special rules though. Chaos Clash is basically which of the star players and stuff they can take. Brawling Brutes is a big change this season for some of these teams. Now, Brawling Brutes means that this team, like others who also have the rule, they get 3 SPP per each casualty caused and 2 for each touchdown instead of the normal way around. So that means that a bash heavy team that's going to have some guys brawling and fighting all the time, they're going to speed up. Like, they're going to level up quicker, which is going to be fantastic on a team absolutely full of big chonkers with Edge 4+ or worse. So actually the fact these guys are brewed up to brew up while beating up other teams works brilliantly for Nurgle. They've got Favoured of Nurgle, which is also their star players. Isn't that right? Chaos Clash? Oh yes, they've got the Favoured of Nurgle special rule, which I think is the linked to the fact that these guys have Plague Whatsits. So Favoured of, that affects the star players. They have got the Chaos Clash, which is again star players and stuff, so that doesn't really affect it at all. Now these guys do have Plague Ridden on a lot of their players, which means if you murder a guy, you get a guy back. So we'll have a look at that when we look at the first of the players. So roster wise, we've got 0 to 16 Rotter linemen, 0 to 2 Pestigor runners. So this is the big change that happened to Nurgle, in that they lost a couple of their Pestigors, and that is something that, you know, is not great for Nurgle. Pestigors are really good players. They've got better now with the help of additional skills, but you will miss having 4 of those guys. So Plague Ridden is the skill. So once per game, when a player with this trait causes a casualty against an opposition player as a result of a block action, and that player suffers a dead result on the casualty roll and is not saved by an apothecary, you may immediately add 1 new lineman player from your team's roster to the reserve box. During the post-game sequence, you may hire them as normal. Cannot be used against big guy players or players with decay, regeneration, or stunty. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, so can't have stunty, can't have big guys. So yeah, basically just your strength. That's good, actually. That's good. All right, anyway, we can ignore that. So 0 to 16 Rotter linemen. Okay, Rotter linemen have stayed the same. They've got a slight boost now in that you've got Secure the Ball for this edition of Blood Bowl. They're movement 5, so they can trundle over to the ball and secure it on a 2+. They're not unsteady, which is really good. So they can help with that. You've lost 2 of the Pestigors, who are the fastest and best agility piece on this team. In fact, the Pestigors are the only Edge 3+ piece on this team. So if you are ever going to be dodging with absolutely anybody, it would have been the Pestigors. Now you've only got 2 of them. Now they have gained Steady Footing, which is the Grail Knight skill. So when these guys fall over, or when they get powed over, you can roll the dice. And on a 6+, it just doesn't happen and everything carries on. So it's a 6+ ward save against turnovers in a lot of times. It's quite cool. It's weird. It doesn't feel quite right for the Pestigor. The Pestigor being that I've got horns so I can blitz at strength 4. You almost want it to be an offensive skill. But the whole theme of this team is resilience, and it does tie in with that. And talking of resilience, the Pestigors, along with every other beastman in the game, have now got Thick Skull, which means if they do get blatted down, that 8 is going to send them to not going to send them to the KO'd box. It's going to keep them on the pitch as stunned instead. Right, 0 to 4 Bloater blockers. So you've still got 4 bloaties, and they've gained Stand Firm, but they have also, yeah, they are blockers. They've also gained Unsteady. So unlike some of the other Strength 4 players, like your Black Orcs, these guys cannot secure the ball. And with Edge 4+, it means that anytime these guys get the ball to try and get a touchdown, it's going to be a very special moment. So actually, it doesn't massively affect it. The only thing that kind of irks a little bit about that is the fact that we kind of already talked about, the fact that Pestigor runners, you've only got 2 of them. So the amount of people who can handle the ball on a Nurgle team it feels a lot worse. It's not actually a lot worse, right? You've maybe lost a 3rd Pestigor, but it's that now everyone else can secure the ball, but my big guys still can't. And talking to big guys, you've got the Rotspawn, and this is the bit I absolutely love. So the Rotspawn keeps all the gribbly-wibbly skills. He's a big guy, so he can't secure the ball either, but he gets pick-me-up. So pick-me-up is wicked, and it was a lot of fun in this stream last night. At the end of your opponent's turn, so I'm running Nurgle, end of their turn, anybody who's prone within 3 squares of my Rotspawn, I roll the dice. On a 5+, they just stand up. Now, it's not a skill you can bank on, but Nurgle are going to be fighting. They're going to be brawling, and which means you're going to end up with some guys who get knocked down. The Rotter linemen, armor 9+. That's as bad as it gets for this team. Pestigors, armor 9+, thick skull. Bloaters, armor 10+. Rotspawn, armor 10+. So these guys, if they get knocked down, they are likely to be prone, potentially more than stunned and more than KO'd. So having that pick-me-up to just 1 in 3 of the guys that are down and 3 squares around is quite a lot of squares. So actually, I really like that. It worked. It was really annoying to play against as well. So that's pretty cool. All right, so let's dive into the players. So Rotter lineman, 0 to 16, movement 5, strength 3, edge 4+, passing 6+, armor 9+. Pretty sure that's all stayed the same. They're coming in at 40k. They get tons of skill access. It's a really interesting team for that, where their stats are really limited, but their skills are really not. So they've got decay, which means when they get injured, your opponent rolls and adds +1, so they are more likely to die because they're more likely to fall apart. They've got plague ridden, which means if they kill an opponent player that isn't a big guy or a stunty, you may gain a lineman immediately for this game only. That's it. Now, skill access, they've got access to Devious, so you can do the dirty player lone fowler thing with them. They've got access to General, which means you can potentially put block on them to make them even more resilient. And you've got Mutations, which means you can do all sorts of fun shenanigans. They've got Strength on a double and, Strength on a secondary and Agility on a secondary as well. Now, to be fair, the Rotter linemen there are just faster zombies. That's kind of how they operate. They go to a place and they wait to get punched. So even though it's now 10 SPP for a secondary skill, it's 6 SPP for a chosen primary skill, so that Devious, Mutation or General. It's 3 SPP for a random of your primaries, and you can roll and choose twice. So you roll twice and choose. So if you want and you get Rotters, if they score a casualty, they're going to get 3 SPP, which immediately means you can take a random Devious skill, a random General skill, or a random Mutation skill on your Rotters, which are going to make them really useful really quickly. So actually, I think what's going to happen in the league is you're going to get a Rotter or 2 that spikes a casualty, gets 3 SPP. You're going to put a couple of random Generals on them. You may even fish for dirty player, lone fowler, that kind of stuff with Devious instead. But it's just going to be helpful. They cannot be relied on because they've got decay. They're not going to be around forever. But having a punt at getting a block or wrestle, Rotter lineman is really useful. You know, dirty player and lone fowler are also going to be really fun too. So actually the Rotters are the supporting cast, and they're pretty good at just standing there and getting punched and then getting back up. As long as they're close to pick me up, you're going to get that chance as well. Okay, then you've got the Pestigor runners. Now these are the star players of this team, and they are going to feel like it because you've only got 2 of them. Movement 6 is as fast as this team gets. Strength 3 is fine. They've got horns, so they're blitzing at strength 4 when you get it, which is going to be really helpful sometimes. Edge 3+, perfectly servable. Passing 4+ is not as good as you'd want it to be. So the Pestigor passing game from one to the other is it's not there. Good luck with that. Armor 9+ is pretty resilient, and they've got thick skull too. So they've got skills that complement their stats really nicely. Horns with movement 6 and strength 3 means that actually when you want to blitz a target with a Pestigor, you're going to have a nice shot at it. You've got a chance to take it. Plague Ridden does the same thing. If they kill a guy, you get a guy. Regeneration means that when these guys die on a 4+, they come back again, which means both of your Pestigors, who are very important to the game, they've got thick skull to keep them on the pitch, and if they get taken off the pitch, you've got regeneration to potentially bring them back in, which I do really like. And this player has got steady footing, so if they fall over or they get blocked down, On a 6+, they just are super resilient. They just stay there. They just take the pow to the face and don't go anywhere, which when you are a ball carrier is a really good free skill to have. Now, they've got no combat skills to start with. They've got no ball handling skills to start with. So there is a bit of a vulnerability there with your Pestigors, but they're still really good. Skill access, GMS, so they get general skills, so block, sure hands, that kind of stuff. Mutation could be really fun with the Pestigors. Extra hand for +1 agility for handling the ball. Extra heads for +1 agility for dodging. Could be really good fun. And they've got strength access to here. So I think you kind of have to focus your Pestigors not around being blitzers, but about being runners, which is why I've labelled them runners here. So actually, the skills you're going to want are block to keep them safe, potentially break tackle to give you that +1 dodge, extra heads to give you that +1 to dodging, extra arms to give you that +1 to pick up the ball, potentially even sure hands to help protect you from strip ball, although as you've got access to mutations, you may consider Monstrous Mouth instead. Actually, no, I think I prefer sure hands. Basically, a Pestigor is going to try and get the ball, and then that Pestigor has to kind of hold it to the end zone, basically, is the plan here. They've got access to all the other skills, so actually at 10 SPP, you can make a dodging Pestigor, which may not be the worst thing, but it's got to be block on your Pestigors. They are so useful as a primary ball carrier, and then as a secondary hitter, that movement 6 is going to come in clutch on defense as well. So your Pestigors may be the star players, but your Bloaters are what Nurgle is all about. So when it comes to Nurgle Bloaters, movement 4, strength 4, ag 4, passing 6+, armor 10+. They are slow and hefty. So they've got a ton of skills. Here we go. They're 110k each. So disturbing presence, which is going to affect throwing the ball within 3 squares of them. Foul appearance, which is going to be brutal. Yeah, Pestigors don't get that. When you go to block a Nurgle Bloater as an opponent, they have to roll a dice. On a 2+, they can carry on. On a 1, and this is going to come up, the block simply doesn't happen. Now, this has changed in this edition, as we found out during the stream last night. It used to happen when you declared the action. So I'm going to blitz you, I roll foul appearance. If I fail, I don't do anything. If I pass, I can move up. There are 2 trains of thought here. Say you're blitzing a Nurgle Bloater, you can move up, and then that's the point where you roll foul appearance. You may not make the block. Now, in my world, I've still based them, so it's still something positive. On the other hand, you are now standing next to a strength 4 Nurgle Bloater, who's probably got friends. So it is a mixed bag there, and foul appearance is kind of like another ward save, really useful. Plague ridden, kill a guy, get a guy. Regeneration, if I get killed, I can come back. Stand firm and unsteady. So unsteady means these guys can't secure the ball. But with a movement 4 edge 4+ piece, you're not. That's not a massively fast touchdown scoring machine anyway. What it did used to give you is if you end up with a strength 4 piece, and this hasn't changed with the ball, even at movement 4, even at edge 4+. The slow, inevitable trundling up the pitch can still happen, obviously. All right, stand firm, though. This is well annoying if you're playing against Nurgle, and it fits in super, super, super well. They just gum up the ground. So I played against them with Black Orcs. So I was like, cool, got some grab, never mind. Got some brawler, okay. So I was able to put blocks on Nurgle, but foul appearance saved him a couple of times. Stand firm just meant I couldn't move them around to make holes to run other stuff through. So they are the ultimate ground control piece now, and I think it works out really well. Skill-wise, I mean, block is fantastic. The fact they got strength, like your bloaters here, they've not changed massively. They want to work together. So guard is great, but block, mighty blow. There's a couple of other skills, but the fact they've got stand firm already is one less skill that you feel like you need to take. So it's a real useful thing for them to already have. That brings their identity. So block is just going to keep them standing even more. Block, foul appearance is really, really, really defensive. That stand firm as well is just, each one of these bloaters becomes a real machine. Then I would say potentially Mighty Blow to just start adding those casualties. We're going to have an argument here that Mighty Blow is better first because it gets you more SPPs to get to block quicker. But I think you're going to love block because it works on defense. And my favourite tweak to this team, though, has to be the Rotspawn. So movement 4, still slow. Strength 5, still fine. Ag 5+, still very agile. Passing 6+, he can now throw. Armor 10+. 140k makes him a pretty valuable, pretty decently priced piece. Disturbing presence, that affects throwing the ball. Foul appearance, you have to roll to block him. Loner 4+ is going to hurt you sometimes. He's got Mighty Blow though, so this is a piece that can start to generate casualties a lot quicker, which is going to be really useful for the Rotspawn. Plague Ridden, kill a guy, get a guy, really stupid. It means you need to put someone around him. Now, the way Nurgle kind of operates and the fact he's got Pick Me Up means you are going to want to keep people around him anyway, so it's almost free. But if he gets isolated, that's going to be a problem. Regeneration keeps him around on the roster, and Tentacles is just really tough for any player that is low on strength. So if you get him on a Goblin or a Gutter, it's going to be tough for them to get away, and then the Rotspawn is going to feast because... you know, strength 2 versus strength 5 with Mighty Blow, looking pretty good for the Rotspawn. So, a couple of things here that I really do like. Pick Me Up is wicked. Like, this guy's not going anywhere. It did feel like he wanted Stand Firm, which was really interesting in our game because it made the Rotspawn almost sometimes a better target to block because I could move him or I couldn't move the Bloaters. However, strength access on a general for this guy mixed in with Brawling Brutes means he's got 2 casualties and then you can just pick a strength skill. And that's when it gets kind of interesting. You can go Brawler to make him more effective. He's already got strength. He's already got Mighty Blow. So you can get that Brawler, take guard on your other lads and just start building up and making 3-die blocks with Mighty Blow. I don't know if that's really... turbo what you want to do. Rotspawn, there's a ton of great skills you can give him, but when it comes to strength, you've got Guard is going to help all of your non-loner players take hits. The more hits you take, the more chance at SPPs through casualties, which are very much incentivized with this roster. The other thing you can kind of think about doing is his Break Tackle. Yes, he's stupid, and yes, he's got Loner 4+, but Break Tackle gives him a 2+ open field dodge, which is great for repositioning your movement 4-piece, but also it means that every now and again you're going to be able to take a punt at a 3+ into a tackle zone to mark the player that you want to mark. So there is some stuff there, but quite frankly, because of the way you gum up, Rotspawn, 2 casualties, get guard, the bloaters and the rotters that you put next to him are now strength 4, strength 5 comparatively. He's going to be tough to block when he's got friends around him. It's just true, and that's just going to be a little bubble that means everyone around him is stronger, and anyone who gets punched, even though they're stronger because they're around him, there's a 5+ chance they're getting back up again at the end of your opponent's turn, which makes the Rotspawn terrific. Okay, so you've gone to Games Workshop, you've gone, I like Nurgle, please, because let's face it, there are some great Nurgle models, and this team looks really good. So you pick up a box of Nurgle. This is what you can run. So, oh no, what are you doing? What are you doing? Let's pause this for a moment, please. Okay, so you've gone to Games Workshop and you said, no, this doesn't work. All right, so you've thought, okay, I like the sound of Nurgle, I like the look of Nurgle, I've gone down to my local game shop and I picked up a box of Nurgle. This is what you can run straight out of the box. So you can take the whole box. You want all 6 Rotters, 2 Pestigors, 4 of those bloaty blockers, and 3 rerolls takes you exactly to 1 million. This is a great place to start with Nurgle if you don't have access to a Rotspawn. Now, the Forge World Rotspawn is pricey and fiddly, but there are a ton of other models from Games Workshop or not from Games Workshop that you can run as your big guy for Nurgle. It needs to be big, it needs to be gross, it needs to have some tentacles, but otherwise you can kind of do what you want. Even like an Underworld, troll with like tentacles would be a great pick to advance your roster. Now, while you can run this roster, 3 rerolls is going to be great, the Rotters are fine, having a bench is cool too. I really do genuinely believe of all the teams, this is one of those that you really want the Rotspawn because it's a lot more fun. Arguably slower, arguably less resilient. I think we had 11 players. If you take the Rotspawn, you've only got 2 rerolls and you've only got 11 players. So you have to lose a couple of Rotters, Rotters and a reroll to take that strength 5 piece, but you're also taking a strength 5 Mighty Blow piece with an aura effect. So actually, you can run this straight out of the box, no problems at all, but you really want to find a big guy model that you can use as your Rotspawn because it's just way more fun to do that. Okay, so Nurgle. We waited to do this one because we wanted to run it on the pitch, and there's a couple of things I got to call out. Do not forget foul appearance. Do not forget steady footing on your Pestigor. Foul appearance, disturbing presence. You as the Nurgle coach have to remember this. You're working with your opponent to do your best to remember the rules, but they're remembering their rules. You got to remember your rules. And Trips and I, it took us a few turns of chat sort of saying, don't forget this, for us to kind of go, yeah, do you know what? Foul appearance, got to forget that. And it's one of those things that when you pick up Nurgle or a team that's got disturbing presence or foul appearance in it for the first time, you are going to forget for a while. Then it becomes a meme, and then you kind of crack on. But that is the big call out here. Nurgle, they're not agile, but they are inevitable. And actually in this edition, even though they may not be turboing their way to the top, they've got the resilience to grind their way to get some very good skills. They're going to bloat. They're going to bloat in TV because what they need are stuff like block and guard. But this team is going to be filthy to play against, which is probably the most thematic thing I could say about them. Anyway, let me know what you think of Nurgle in the comments below, and we'll be back soon with more Blood Bowl content. Happy blocking.